Hello everybody, I'm Michael Matalavich and welcome back to Casual Relief, my podcast. Here we're going to talk about the New York Jets today. Joe Douglas goes on an interview on the Michael K Show. Going to be breaking down two clips from that. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe down below. Follow me on social media in my description. Support the channel if you can. I really appreciate that. So yesterday, Election Day, trade deadline for the NFL. The GM of the New York Jets, Joe Douglas, goes on to the Michael K Show after doing his presser with the print media. I give Michael, Don, and Peter from the Michael K Show a lot of credit. They did not make this an easy interview for him. They didn't just ask one question about Adam Gase. They belabored the point to try and get an answer out of Joe Douglas. I think he did a good job of answering the questions. Maybe too strongly of an endorsement, but we're going to talk about that later. There's two clips we really want to focus on. I'm really going to focus on in this breakdown. And it's going to be the clip where Joe Douglas talks about Robbie Anderson and when he talks about player development and draft for the future. I think those are key quotes that are going to come back later when looking at draft time and free agents. The thing about the Robbie Anderson clip, which I'm going to play for you guys, it's a long answer, but I think it shows a lot about who Joe Douglas is.
Yeah, obviously Robbie's having a great season. I have a ton of respect for Robbie, really like Robbie, and obviously it's hard to be sitting here and watching Robbie have that success somewhere else. First off, I look back at what I did wrong, what I could have done better, I should say. I think our team did a great job of forecasting the market for a lot of positions last year. I think we overshot the wide receiver market. I think we expected Robbie to really garner a lot more offers and a lot more money.
So right away, what I hear in this clip from the Michael K Show is responsibility. I mean, that's a theme that Joe Douglas has taken since he became the GM of the Jets, is that he takes responsibility. He's not one to point fingers. He's not going to throw people under the bus. It sounds like he really puts this all on his shoulders. He understands that this team doesn't have the talent to win right now, and a lot of that is on him. What was curious about this clip, though, is the way he said they overestimated the wide receiver market. So that, to me, means that they didn't seem to extend any kind of offer to Robbie Anderson at all, assuming he was going to be way out of their price range. Which I think is surprising. I would have liked to see them at least send him an offer, especially how it turned out, with a minuscule difference of maybe $1 million on the contract. I think that's somebody we could have brought back. Now, does he have the year that he's having in Carolina? No. He doesn't, because he's not in the Matt Rule offense. But still, I think that that's a clear mistake on Joe Douglas' part of not bringing back Robbie Anderson, somebody that Sam did have continuity with, which is something that Joe Douglas did bring up multiple times in this interview, saying that it's not an excuse, but it's the fact that continuity has been an issue with this team. The rookies haven't been on the field together until October 21st. They haven't had their 3 starting wide receivers on the field. They've only had 3 games with their 5 starting offensive linemen. They missed Sam Darnold for a few games. But getting rid of your last year's, number 1 receiver, or whoever you would consider to have pretty much the best continuity with Sam Darnold, I think was a mistake. And the fact that he owned up to it is something a lot of GMs don't try to do. They try to spin it in a way that makes it sound like it was the right decision at the time, and in hindsight it doesn't work out. I like the responsibility Joe Douglas took. It shows me that he's not worried about his job in the short term. I think that long-term contract has him feeling very safe, so he can admit that he made these mistakes as his first go-around in free agency and off-season activities. The thing that he harped on next, which I think is really, really, really important, is player development.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and blame or point fingers at anybody. So I need to look in the mirror, and I need to focus on what I can do better, and I have to get as many great people, great players as I can to help this organization. And I know that there are a ton of good people here. And so we're working together. We're working together to do that. We're sitting here right now, and we have a group of rookies that weren't on the field together playing football until October 21st, okay? And again, that's on me to make sure that I'm working with the strength conditioning staff and medical staff to get these guys healthy, to stay out in front of soft tissue injuries. But we have a group of rookies that got on the field together October 21st to show a lot of promise, and we're trying to develop these guys and progress these guys over the next 8 games. We have 9 picks in next year's draft. We have 9 picks in the 2022 draft. Of those picks, 8 of those picks are top 3 rounds. So there is a reason, there is a silver lining. It's unfortunate that we are where we are, but we have to be in the player development business. I have to look in the mirror. We have to be the best individual player development team in the National Football League moving forward with all this draft capital, with all these picks, and that's my sole focus right now.
Now, Michael K. asked the question about getting rid of players, and I thought Joe Douglas's response was really interesting. He wasn't saying that they're restocking draft capital to go get a trade, or they're cutting players because they want to sign a big-name free agent. He mentioned the draft repeatedly. He wanted to attack the draft. He wants to be the best player development team in the league. But the moves they made have put them in a position, so if there is a trade that comes along, they're able to be in those discussions or free agent discussions with the flexibility they have. This to me means Joe Douglas understands how to build a franchise. That it's not a Nick fix or a Met fix where you think you're going to bring in 2 big free agents and all of a sudden the whole franchise is going to change. It seems that Joe Douglas really understands that we have to build from the ground up. Draft capital, 9 picks in the next year's draft and 9 picks in the year's draft after that. So out of 18 draft picks in the next 2 years, 8 of those in the first 3 rounds. That's something he said in the quote, and I think it's true. It's a big deal. That's a lot of picks that can change a franchise, because in 2-3 years, we could be looking at a brand new team and going, where did all these guys come from? So I think the commitment to the draft, the commitment to wanting to make young players better here, is something that we have to see quickly. Because right now, a lot of them are regressing, with the exception of guys like Quinnen Williams, who seems to be showing an uptick from last year. Denzel Mims and LaMichael Pirine have been looking pretty good so far, but they don't get nearly enough volume in the offense to really develop them. And I think it continues. Every road with the Jets leads back to Adam Gase. It's really frustrating. And Don said it on the Michael K show after the interview, that it almost seems like he's the boss. You got to kiss the ring. Joe Douglas was brought in part because of Adam Gase. Joe Douglas doesn't have the final say on Adam Gase. Christopher Johnson does. They both go to Christopher Johnson to talk, and then he makes his decision. So it really seems like Joe Douglas is friends with Adam Gase, doesn't want him to be gone. He called him part of the solution, and hopefully he can work on it moving forward. But I'm hoping it's just they see the writing on the wall and they're just not bad-mouthing this man, but it was a little bit too strong of an endorsement for Adam Gase. Joe Douglas did also come out and support Sam Darnold, saying he believes he'll be the quarterback next year, and I take that one with a little bit more grain of salt, because a few months ago everyone was convinced, the reports saying that Joe Douglas was all in on tanking for Trevor, and that if Trevor Lawrence is there at 1, they're taking him without a doubt. And now he's coming out saying that they're going to keep Sam Darnold for next year. If any GM comes out in week 8 of the NFL season and tells you what his draft plans are, he's not a good GM. I don't believe it. I just don't. There's no way that, from all accounts around the NFL, a really smart football guy, a guy that is in a position he should be. He should be a GM. Everyone believes that. So I'm really supposed to believe that he went on national TV and just told everybody what his plan for the draft was. Really? Is it more likely that they're not sure what they want to do if they get the number 1 pick yet? So he puts it out that they want to keep Sam Darnold so that teams like, I don't know, Detroit, the Patriots, Minnesota, the Bears, maybe even the Falcons are more likely or more enticed to try and jump up to that number 1 pick. I just have a hard time believing that Joe Douglas is going to tell us here in November what his draft plans are and commit that strongly to it. I don't think so. Overall, I was happy with the way that the interview went. I think he took a lot of responsibility. I think he was on point with almost everything he said, except for, I disagree with the Adam Gase stuff, but I'm not in that building, so maybe they see something different. But when asked specifically what it was, they couldn't really answer that. I think Joe Douglas is really taking the company line, and he's doing a good job of it. But it's got Jets fans worried. And all I would say to Jets fans, my message would you to be is just wait. Just like all the pundits last night from the political election, just wait. The final votes aren't in. We don't know what's going to happen. Because on draft night, when Roger Goodell walks across that stage and says, with the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, we have no idea what will happen. We could trade it, we could keep it, we could not even be there. We could trade up if we're down. We don't know. So just relax. Let this season unfold the way it's going to unfold. It's going to be ugly and it's going to be terrible, but just let it happen. Because in the end, we have to trust Joe Douglas. It's been less than a year of his reign as the NFL GM. Give him time to build this team in his image. Don't rush to conclusions. Just try and keep a level head, because as frustrating as it may be, and the chance and how frustrating it would be if they did bring Adam Gase back, we have no idea. For all we know, Woody Johnson might be coming back, and we might not like either of them or what they're doing and try clean house. We have no clue what is going to happen. There are too many things in football and outside of football to predict right now. It's ridiculous. Slow down. It's week 8 of the NFL season just wrapped up. We don't know what's going to happen. So all we can hope for is that we see rookies improve. Mekhi Becton, Michael P. Ryan, Denzel Mims, Bryce Huff, Bryce Hall, Ashton Davis. These are guys we want to see improve significantly over the year. That's what we need to focus on for this season. Let the offseason stuff land where it may. Worry about that when we get closer, because that's when the information starts to get better. No GM's coming out now telling you what their draft plan is. So Jets fans, just be happy we have someone who takes responsibility. We have what seems to be a true leader of men in the GM position. And let's use that positive to fuel the momentum forward. And try to forget all the negative that is going on. Because in 2 years, it might be worth it. Thank you all for watching or listening. This has been Casual Relief. I'm your host, Michael Matalavage. Remember to subscribe down low and follow me on my social media in the description. Share this with your friends if you liked it, and comment down below what you think about the Joe Douglas interviews, both on print media and in the Michael K. Show. Thank you guys all for watching, and have a great day.